Everybody, good morning. Looks like we got several channel members like Rob, Craig, Ivan, Rob, again, Gayton, Sergio, Will, David, Frank, Donald, B, Mad, Diane, David, Arturo, Hugh, David, David, Kevin, Terry, another David, Skaggs, good morning, Ed, Marianne, Gary, Rongamer, Darren, good to see everybody. And then all the regular subscribers, welcome. Kimberly's still on the road. And hey, thanks for all the support, everybody. Dun, 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 dun. Last stream. All right. Well, Erdy, sorry to hear that, my man. You're always welcome, though. There's Kimberly on the road. On the road again. So anyway, Jerome Powell out there speaking this morning. And we can go to the calendar. And right here, Fed Chair Powell speaking. He is talking at the Large Banks Conference hosted by the Federal Reserve in Washington, D.C. So basically, they hosted their own conference and he's speaking. So, and, the whole thing is there might be volatility due to anything he might say right there. So, usual effect, more hawkish than expected, is good for currency. More dovish, as they call it, is bearish for currency. This is Forex Factory, so they just talk in terms of currency, not in terms of the stock market. So there you have it right there. Volatility if he changes course on anything right there. Looks like, good morning and welcome to the Federal Reserve Board. I'm pleased, so there are, I guess his opening remarks are already in there, and if he speaks again or whatever, we'll see. Now, looking at the direct effect on the market. That's cool. It reset the chart. Cool. Jumping into the 15 minutes. Looks like starting at 8:30. I'm in Eastern time. And just very small volatility right there. Yesterday, we got a big up and a big right back down. Looking at the high to low, came up right in the expected place. Expected target and retraced. It's not magic, it's just math. Repeatable patterns over and over and over and over. Right there. Here's the high, here's the low. If we break back through this level right here on the futures, we'll probably go on up and actually hit that target. That's the big target on the daily chart. That would push S&P cash potentially up to the big target, 63.65. Right there. That's basically what I'm looking at right now. And NASDAQ, not really any different. We did extension, we did the retrace. The only thing different here is there is potentially 5 waves down. This is something to watch. If we hold this resistance in here and turn down, we can see a bigger downturn in this. But it sure would be a shame to miss that target. Came all this way, we're so close, but we can do it. Now, there is $100 billion of stock buybacks that will kick back in after earnings completes in the following 3 weeks or 4 weeks of the S&P 500 here. We have a lot of earnings, a lot of earnings this week. And let's see, right here, open that. Yes, I want to leave Discord right here. So we've got Coca-Cola out this morning, GM, DR Horton, Lockheed Martin. After the close today, some ISRG, Enphase, Matador, Texas Instruments, EQT. Those are some interesting ones. And tomorrow before the open, so during 30 minutes of awesome, we'll talk about a little bit of this. And then tomorrow morning, I plan on talking about the Tesla earnings curse maybe. And then Alphabet in here, IBM, Chipotle. I actually took a trade on that. Posted it on X yesterday. And yeah. So this is kind of the first phase of earnings, the first big phase. We had Netflix last week, but we're going to ramp up big tech. We got Tesla and Google coming in here. We'll have Apple, Amazon coming up, Microsoft, Meta coming up next week, I think it is. Let's see. Meta. Gotta go back to the daily charts. Yeah, next week, 30th. Microsoft on the 30th. Apple on the 31st. Amazon on the 31st. Yeah, so they're all four of those next week. That's what I thought. And video probably won't be till out here and on out. Yeah, late August. Always kind of the odd one out in the Mag 7s. Tesla likes to try to be early. Google matching them this time. So be careful here. Google coming up into that gap down resistance. Could get a big negative reaction on earnings. Definitely want to be careful there. Meta could have a big negative reaction. Tesla, as I've talked about, if we rally into the earnings on Wednesday, the likelihood is for a drop. 70+% of the time, we see a drop on earnings as the reaction. Sometimes we get a pop, but most of the time we get a drop. Now, I'll go through the statistics on Wednesday morning, what that kind of looks like. But we've, more recently, we've gotten, and it doesn't matter if earnings miss or, hit or miss. Like earnings pop here, drop here, pop here, and drop here, made a bottom, and then took off. This one popped. So in their more recent earnings, it's kind of been closer to 50-50, but if you look all the way back like 10 years, most of the time it's dropped, like 70+% of the time. So that one's got a pretty established history, but doesn't mean we will, but be cautious. A lot of these ones that popped, we were dropping into earnings, so bearish earning expectation, then pop. And this one did drop into earnings and then continued to drop in. We small couple day pop and then dropped. This one kind of was bottoming into earnings and popped. So is this, what would this be? It's kind of middle of the road. We're not at the top of the range. We're not at the bottom of the range. We're just in the middle of the road. Everybody already knows they didn't make and sell a lot of cars. So pop or drop? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Depends on how much Elon talks, I guess. So, dun dun dun. Yeah, BTBT got a big bump, and then yesterday BTBT got whacked, along with a lot of crypto. So, kind of jumping through a few of these. Apple not able to push through the roadmap line. Yesterday was looking good, and then rejected. Be careful. This is setting up for a bigger downside. Amazon, be careful. Do have a little bit of gap action right there. If we can break through it. 257 on the upside. There's the market open. Google might be coming to that gap down resistance, as I said. Meta, double topped. Made a move down. So far, it's three wave. If we can break back above that 230 area. We could extend this higher to 793. 290 area, 7. I don't know what I'm even saying. 729 area, 730 area. We break through that 730 area, going on up. 790. Microsoft keeps grinding the highs here. And potential to take this on up to 565. But if we get a pullback in some of those other names, we may see this retest the breakout. Very classic. Before we go higher. Kind of the same with NVIDIA as we come up into that target area at 177, 176, 177. If we start a market pullback, we may come back and retest the breakout there before we can go on higher. If we're going to go on higher, 212 would be my upside resistance. Tesla, 270 support, and target is up at like 500. I did sell a 380 against the shares I hold for this Friday. Netflix, probably going to come back to the roadmap line. Look at some of the other things. Oil, this is starting to look a little more bearish. I might put on a bearish trade for oil. We'll see. Stay tuned to supercharged tickers. So that's probably how I'll do that. And GC, grinding lower high. It's a whole series at this point. Watch for the next leg down. That probably needs a bigger leg down. Bitcoin, trying to grind back up to the top of the range that we've been consolidating in since we spiked it. Ethereum, 2 red days in a row. Kind of lost its momentum here. Stalled out. Big resistance right here at 45.69. That's where we have quality of the first move up and the second move up. Right there. It's not really been any pullback at all off of this low right here in June. The big 618 retrace could be very likely, especially if we're going to get higher targets here. So this could, in fact, retrace all the way back down to that 2800 level. NKD, the Nike, just grinding right at the top of the range here. This has not typically led to a breakout on the Nike. You know, sometimes it does, but sometimes we just grind and then break down. I'm concerned that breakdown back to the roadmap line might be in store. DXY might be looking for that 618 retrace. That low, this high. We'll be right back down at 97 area. If we can hold that, look for the next move up. Resistance here. If we do it in 3 waves, that means continuation down is more likely than continuation up. If we stop here, retrace briefly, and then push on higher for a 5th wave, and then 3 wave into the roadmap line, that would signal we're going on higher for the dollar. Right there. So we already hit the Mag 7 stuff. And what is included in the premium subscription for the channel? The list is there, my man. There's not, since we don't have a ton of premium subscribers, there's not like a giant difference right now in the tiers. So if you just want to do $5, that's cool. That's cool. The real value is becoming Termar Trading Lab member. It's where you get access to everything I do. And so that's what I'm looking for on the dollar. Looking at MedP. So anytime we see medical stuff, biotechs, pharma start dominating the list, it's typically not the best day in the market, but we have a nice pop right here. High low, take that one off, take that one off. And 504, 545 next upside. NOC. Oh, finally pushing higher. Jiminy. Look at that long correction there. 601. We don't even have, like, it's been on here so long, I don't even have the new fib lines that I've been using for over a year. 582. The upside on NOC, IQV. So these are things that were up $2 or more in the pre-market. I usually hunt through here, looking for opportunities, and then we go pull the decliners. I don't look at these before I go live because I basically pull it, put it in the watch list, and then go live. And yesterday, this one, Open Door Technologies, this was 10% of the entire volume of the stock market was in this yesterday. Sounds like meme stock craziness to me. Be careful. That's the lowest low. Straight up off of it. That's just hype. That's bubble pattern. Kind of like this. Probably going to come back down. As soon as it runs course, probably get a nice big fat retrace. Check on SBET. Yeah. Weakness in Ethereum coming back down. So watch for the retrace here. And the bounce. I may add like one more share here. We do that. THC. Let's just clear that chart up. Now that we've got the retrace in place, run the high, run the low. At the target, 192 possible on the upside. DHI. Ooh, that's no bueno. No bueno. Not good. Here's the high, here's the low. Resistance up into this area right here. And that can still be first move down, retrace, second move down. Right like that. How far does she go? The high, here's the low, here's the potential retrace zone. I can put it down here at the target. That would be a first move down, copy paste, second move down, right down near the target. And if we stall out right where we are, whoops, meant to grab that. If we turn it red now, definitely could push the target even further down. HTOO, Fusion Fuel Green PLC. Looks like a complete dumpster fire with a reverse split. Be careful. That can just burn you and your money and, you know, downtrend. The reverse split likely to continue going down. Companies that do reverse splits are not generally healthy and bullish. And this has a long-term, got a 4-year history of being complete garbage on their stock management. Companies that are bad at managing stock prices tend to stay bad at managing stock prices. Coinbase having a hard time breaking through this level right here, 445. Watch for retrace back to the breakout area. If Bitcoin continues to be soft, if Bitcoin performs, we can see that upside right there at 600. CRL. Looks like another dumpster fire piece of garbage. MSTR. On the hype train. Let's see if you ever want to twist around me. You need to become a Term Right Trading member. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so you can apply for a Term Right Trading Lab membership. It's links in the description down below. It's just jeffreytrader.com/inquire. Talk to the team. I offer a variety of things because I don't know how you trade. Like I have a day trade thing, I have a swing trade thing, I have a longer term swing trade thing, I have a very long term, almost position type swing trade thing. I do the 50K challenge. I don't even sell access to that. That's Term Right Trading Lab, but that's, you know, right there. I post the open orders for this every time I make a change, I try to post it for channel members. So what do you get as a channel member? You get to see what the open orders are for this. But if you want to see every twist and turn I make in that account, like what I'm thinking, be able to ask questions, Termite Trading Labs, where that's at. I have a variety of things that I don't even sell anymore. Like that BTFD strategy I've talked about. My team doesn't want to sell it. So if you're a Termite Trading Lab member, you get access to that. So MSTR, if we break down below this uptrend, watch for a retrace to the roadmap line. This could just be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we could be working on the fifth wave move higher here. Part of the bigger 1, 2. Upside potential. Now, briefly talk about this. If we are going up to 1,000, it's like 139% upside. If we're going to the more realistic target down here, we're looking at like a 60% upside. So if you're in something like MSTX, we're looking at a 60% upside on MSTR. This would be like 120% upside. So we'd just be right back to that 618 level. That might be all she's got right there. Now, if we actually make it to the bigger 139% upside, you're looking at a move right up in here, which is still not the highest high. Still below the all-time high on this 2x leverage ticker right here. So be careful where you put your money. Roundtail coin weekly payout. COIW. So when you look at these, I like to adjust them for the dividend and see how they're running. Now, if Coinbase is, if Bitcoin gets done running, and this could turn around pretty viciously on you. It doesn't have much history. Remember, we're looking at this right here, that dominance dropping off. If we rally back up, make a lower high, it's your first indication that we're coming into the end of Bitcoin's run. It's usually what, we usually see this happen. You can see back here, we made this move down, came up, lower high, didn't even attempt to get back to the high. And that was in 21. And then as we rallied to new highs on Bitcoin into September, October, November, we were actually down here. So this was a big indication. The dominance was dropping off while we rallied. If we start seeing that again, Bitcoin making new highs and the dominance continuing to drop, it's a big red warning flag that this whole crypto hype cycle coming to an end. Crypto summer, we're going to be entering crypto winter. Winter is coming, as they say on Game of Thrones. So be careful. I wouldn't get into any of the yield max type stuff at all. You're just going to end up losing your money. CONY. That one looks horrible right there. They pay out the NAV. Basically, anything paying over 13% dividend yield is paying out the NAV. Their dividend yield, 111%. And you look at it on the adjusted basis, you've got to roll all your money into everything you get paid. You got to roll it into drip. Otherwise, it's just going to erode the NAV, and you're going to end up way behind, probably, more than likely. The MSTY, again, eroding, but over time, you might squeak out ahead. They pay out the NAV. What does that mean? It's the net asset value. When they pay out the NAV, that means they're eroding the core holdings and paying that out in dividends. So not only are you behind on share price, but you're having to pay tax because it's a dividend payment. So you're booking a loss on share price and offsetting the dividend. Sounds like a net loser proposition if you're in a taxable account. And if you're in a IRA, what the heck are you doing playing with the volatility? You know, you could be in something like PAAA, JAAA, things that go up and up and up, even T-bill or bill, you know, things you can count on your money being there. So be careful. Yeah, those don't pay nearly anywhere close to 100. You know, T-bill paying like 4.5, PAAA, that one paying, there it is, 5.2, and then JAA, that one paying 5.8. So yeah, those are significantly less, but very stable. Very stable. And then you know, higher yields, stuff like my double dip trade plays. A PT1. A lot of these have higher dividend payouts, like that one's 10%. But once you go over 13%, usually if they have any kind of hiccups on the road, they start paying out the NAV and eroding the book value. So funny enough, these are some of the longest high dividend payers. Is one of the things I've traded the longest. Kind of started that back in the 90s. I have more tuned into them, and I use the same patterns. So looking for that to target at 15. I call it double dip because you get the upside on the stock and the high dividend yield. So just be careful. Back to the regular scheduled program. Lenore, sympathy move up, but probably still set for decline. And this could be a large measured bounce if this one can actually perform off of that low. We did tag my target area, whereas DHI still shy of that. If we can get back up through this resistance area right up here where the gap down is, it would set up the move. Come on up here and potentially even bigger move up into this zone, up around 400. Be a pretty good move. PHM, already I was expecting a rally up in this area. We went deeper. That leaves the potential to go even further down. Pull this down. Pull this down. Pull this down. Right there. That opens up the potential to go further down on PHM. Don't think we're necessarily bottomed out yet. S-Loan, Ultra Solana. So you want to get some 2x leverage on some Solana? There you go. One way to do it. Nail, 3x on home builders, coming up into resistance. Watch for this to turn down. BTCL, 2x leverage on Bitcoin. Still got the $80 target. BitX, still got the $80 target. MTEN. Yeah, there's not enough chart to do much with. That's very sloppy. Let's see. That pullback. Biggest pullback. Yeah, coming into maybe 30 area resistance. Check this one. And 30. And be careful here. That might be it right there. That spike may cause it to retrace again. Not really enough history to do much with that one. BitU, again, looking for pop into the 76 area. QBTX, ooh, double top with the lower high. 3-wave up. Continuation will be down. Be very, very careful. This indicates that first move down, retrace, absolutely. That's an absolutely beautiful correction set up right in here. Somewhere down around 50 would be what I expect on QBTX. So QBTS. And that one made a higher high. You can see the chart looks nothing the same here. So that may be indicating, QBTX may be indicating what's about to happen here on QBTS. So be careful. Might see this perform back down to the $10 area. HCC. 3-wave move up so far. Proportionally, that looks like. And so far, that's an ABC proportion. A, B, C. As long as we're right in here. And if we turn down, that can lead to continuation down. Now, if we can make it to 65 on HCC, which this is coal, and coal, I don't know. We can see further upside there. May see that retrace and a pop on that one. And PB1, what is it? Peabody. Yeah, BTU, that's it. Seeing the same kind of action here. $20 resistance here. FBTC. 113 maybe. Toll Brothers. Sympathy move up. Got the resistance coming up right up here. Where we did that consolidation. So we're just at the bottom of that. We could turn down at any point here. Make another move down. That does have an ABC 3-wave type thing. See if it's part of a bigger 3-wave or if we can break above the resistance. And so far, this would be set up for first move down. See, Control V, second move down, right down around 67. GBTC hitting the resistance at 94.80. Watch for a retrace, but that could push on out to 107. PCAR. Grinding. Connell. Not pushing higher. That's 3 lower highs. Does concern me, but we might see a push out to 100 right there. GHV. Reverse split. 1 for 200. Complete garbage. All right, decliners. Things that were declining. $2 or more. Oh. Ouch. Breaking down below the trend line. That's not bullish. Despite all the war rhetoric and gonna replace all the weapons and blah, blah, blah. Not a very positive outlook for LMT. SHW, Sherwin Williams. Just chopping. Somebody mentioned this to me. I don't remember. Somebody asked me about SHW. Sitting here at the potential bounce. Look at that. This big pullback. So here, that 618 wasn't there, right? At that low, this still wasn't here. But we came up, stopped there, and then proceeded to go on down where this high to this low made this 618, where we found resistance on the way down, and then resistance on the way back up, all stopping right there. Now, this move up, 3-wave retrace, may go a little deeper, may hold right here. If we hold right here, break through it, probably going to be bullish and might lead to a move on up to this 410, 420 area right up in here. That move up, this retrace, got to see it hold here. Farthest I could really trust it is down to about 318. If we start below that, probably going on down. And this may be part of a bigger 3-wave move, where that be the first move down, retrace, and the next move down could take us down all the way to 280. If we start breaking down. Zones down here. Maybe like, how do you tell where the fib lines are? Done this long enough. Already had an idea where I thought it was going to go to on the downside. See that right there? That's first move down, retrace, held the 618, next move down. So it's just a copycat move. That move down. Control C, Control V. Copied off of that high right there. So if we break down below this 318 area, grab that line, this kind of like line right in here. probably going to put more downward pressure on SHW. And they provide paint. A lot of that's house paint, painting, not just, a lot of people think house paint, painting the outside, but no, painting the inside, painting all the walls, construction, painting this, painting that. And when things are going good for the housing industry, need a lot of paint. If things not going good for the housing industry, paint sales down. EFX. So that one's kind of counter to DHI and Lennar and all them popping today. It's kind of maybe showing further decline in store, which lines up with what my expectations there. EFX is that first move down, retrace, continuation. Hunting for stuff. This is not stuff I'm feeling confident about. So potential for that to come on down. REPO, whack. Lowest low. Not really a surprise. We didn't break through, and boom. Boom shakalaka down. That can go to 0. This is setting up to potentially get a reverse split if that wasn't already hiding in there. Nah. Let's watch out. This can, if this gets on down to $1, probably do a reverse split. NXPI. Grinding through. If it can break through these prior highs, we can see some upside price action there. If we reject, first move down, second move down, could push it on down closer to 100. Philip Morris, oh, almost back to the roadmap line in one fell swoop. Watch for support down around 157. If we do that, hold. Could have another nice big fat upside cooking. So support right there. And if we bounce it like we did before, be an echo up. Could be something like nice fat move to like 250. Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab must be retracing a little bit. Guess it's good. I sold out of that one. Well, still above my sellout price, but it's like Rocket Lab ran out of fuel, coming back down. Circle. Be careful. This is a pattern. Now, if it breaks to the downside, we're coming all the way back. I call it the bubble pattern. Looks like this right here. We go absolute insane to the upside. We get some chop. Then when we break down, we tend to cause everybody to panic and get angry, capitulate, and get depressed, denial, anxiety. Be careful. That circle definitely has that pattern. PNR. First move down, second move down potential. Came up to a higher low. I mean lower high, excuse me. Lower high, potential to come on down. Now, we could hold. Very well could hold. If we hold if we hold this area right here and turn higher, that would be positive for coming on up to 116 to 120. 3x in Korea, just chop like it's run out of energy here. This likely to get a retrace. ADI. How do I get the trades? You join if you want all the trades and as they happen, you've got for the 50K challenge here, you've got to be a Termite Trading Line member. That's the only place I give them out as they happen. It is a whole portfolio management. It is a lot of trades up to, we've done as many as 30 actions in a week. So it's very intensive. ADI. Looking for this retrace right back here. AVAV. First move down, retrace. Second move down. Could put us back in that 220 area. That may come up and meet it. DHR. Rejection of the roadmap line and expansion lower. Don't see a link in the description. Check this out. Dun, 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 dun. Live. Right there. Description. And right here. More information on term market trading now. Look right there. Looky, looky, looky. That's it. Yeah, a lot of the green name, a lot of the channel members are also term market trading line members. That's the value they find. I'm just saying. So, there you go. I just gave it to you. All right. Resistance. Watch for that to break on further down. A-Lab. It's not cheap. I just, the reason it doesn't have a price or a page that you just pay because it's not cheap. I put a lot of heart and energy into it, and watch for retrace, potential break higher on Astrolab, GPC. I don't necessarily make a ton of trades. I mean, this, as you can see here, that's not really a ton of trades. We look at the last 3 months. Got lucky. Sometimes I get lucky. Nailed a nice one right there. Got myself in position to, keep getting lucky. I mean, look at that. Who else's P&L you look at? These are all verified trades, right? Who else has that? Get a little step up and then continue up, and then get a little step up, continue up. That's the plan. Consistency. So GPC, probably going to come on up to 130 CLS. Topping out, watch for the retrace here. Come back to the roadmap line. Support. KRMN. If that had a roadmap line, it's probably going to come back to it. If I was guesstimating where it would be, it'd probably be like that. You'll probably see it retrace about right there. That's where the 4 hours. All right. Texas Instruments got earnings coming up after the close. That sure does look like we're going to do that right there. Would I bet on it? No. Probably not going to bet on that, but that looks like it's going to retrace. It came up. Retrace before, the upside 230, downside 190. CGON, CG Oncology. Dumpster Fire going lower. Shopify. One of my favorites. I think this is probably going to go on up to 140, maybe 150. I was hunting. I did expect it to retrace here and give me an opportunity to get into a nice big fat position for a pop. Didn't do that. Just paused and ramped up to here. I'd expect a little higher. That'd be maybe the final move. I haven't traded it because it didn't, I'm a trend pullback continuation trader. This was not the pullback I was looking for. So trend, stop, trend. Not really pullback, so didn't give me the opportunity. Archer daily, wow. ACHR. Archer must be giving. That's crazy. Look at. So, oh, that's AC. I was like, wait. Archer. Yeah, there we go. This might be played out. Watch out. If this breaks down, ARCX is getting whacked right there. PGY. That's a SPAC. I'm not touching it, not trading it. It's got reverse splits in here too, just in case you thought it was awesome. Reverse split, not good. KTOS. And that one just keeps being crazy. We got 77, possibly 185, and it's going exponential up. When they do that, watch for exponential down. ETHU. Yeah, I'm glad I sold out of that. Like, I did sell some of this yesterday. Liquidated my accounts that had exposure to this that I don't really want to take a loss in. My higher risk accounts still have it on for the bigger pop. Potential up here around 200-ish. BR. So these have my signature setup pattern set up for potential entry today. Turn on the Apollo algorithm. This one's still in it from back here on this swing. Just keeps grinding the roadmap line. It has set up yet another potential entry for 248 right there. EXC, little baby pullback in here. It would have picked up probably that. Yep, right there. Looking for 45 on the upside. Not, that's a net loser. I definitely wouldn't trade it for me. This one, I bet it triggered on Discord, but not Del Monte. This big swing back here, still coming up shy of 35.89. HUYA. Well, that one already played out. And MDB. Here's the high, here's the low, here's the trigger, and 242 is the target, which is not very big. Right there. That's it. Not great. Not great options. Haven't seen great options on here for a little while as we've been grinding the high here. So expectation for the day. Yeah, we may retrace a little bit before we pop on up. As I talked about here on ES, it's like we're breaking down. So we're going for that bigger downside. See if we can hold a 30 minutes. 1 hour. Oh, we touched the 1 hour. Yeah. So if we don't hold the 1 hour, right here is support. 63.23 on futures. If we don't hold that, probably coming down to the 4 hour right here. 6,200. We may need that retrace right there to be able to do the final move right there. So big support right down here. If we start below the 4 hour, daily support's down here at 59. That's a big potential, but that still leaves us upside. So this hype, we haven't really had a pullback since here in April. You said, oh, we had a little baby, like 2-day pullback. That's not really a pullback. That's not really a pullback. That's just pause. We're looking for something proportionally big like this. Hadn't been one. Might need that right there to do the finality move. So be careful out there. Be careful. Yeah, request show 5 p.m. Eastern. As always, you want to make requests and have me look at things, please come hang out 5 p.m. I'll check out whatever you want. And we'll be back again tomorrow. I've got a live show going on at 11 a.m. on Profit Panel. prosperitypub.com/profit panel. If you want to come hang out, see what we got to see. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you again later.